Have you ever wondered if all the world's myths are actually telling the same story? Long ago, a god created us and led humanity toward civilization. We see this theme in myths across the globe, from the Mayan god of light, Quetzalcoatl, to the sun god in ancient Egypt, the supreme god Anu of the Sumerians, and the Chinese goddess Nua. With so many myths in such a vast world, is it just a coincidence that they all mention divine creation? For a long time, scholars dismissed these as just ancient stories. But today, with rapid advancements in fields like geography, archaeology, and aerodynamics, we're re-examining the past. For example, people once believed the ancient city of Troy from Homer's epic was a myth, but its ruins were discovered by Charles McLaren in 1822, proving its existence. Similarly, the ancient Mesopotamian city of Ur was also thought to be a myth, until it was discovered by a military man named Leonard during World War I. This made people realize how limited their past understanding was. Ancient literature scholar Zecharia Sitchin decoded ancient texts and archaeological findings from civilizations like the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Canaanites. His work revealed that the Bible's descriptions of ancient kingdoms, cities, trade networks, tools, and human customs were surprisingly accurate. This has led many to believe that these myths might not be entirely fictional. While some parts may be made up, the core of the stories could be based on reality. Since some ancient texts seem to be accurate, maybe others are worth exploring too. Take, for instance, the ancient Indian texts from 3000 BC, like the Bhagavata Purana, the Mahabharata, and the Ramayana. These texts frequently describe a flying machine called the Vimanas. This wasn't just any flying machine, it could travel through space. Let me read you a couple of excerpts. One passage says, "At Rama's request, this magnificent chariot ascended into a vast sea of clouds." Another reads, "Bhiman flew his Vimanas through a huge beam of light. Its light was brilliant, as bright as the sun, and it was as deafening as thunder in a storm." These descriptions sound exactly like a UFO in flight. Even more incredible is that the text details 31 parts of the machine and lists 16 metals needed for its construction. To this day, we only know what 3 of those metals are. The others remain a complete mystery. A few years ago, ancient Sanskrit documents were found in Tibet, China. These documents are thousands of years old, and after being translated by Indian scholars, they are said to be the blueprints for building the Vimanas. It's even claimed that the spacecraft's propulsion system was based on anti-gravity technology. Imagine that! If we had that kind of technology, we wouldn't need cars or ships. The book also states that the energy for this anti-gravity technology comes from within us. It says the human body has an inherent, unknown power that allows us to levitate. There are many ancient accounts of this superpower, most famously in Indian yoga. Friends familiar with yoga know about a mysterious, supernatural ability called Nadi Ma. Through meditation and breathing exercises, yogis can generate powerful energy that makes them feel very light and can even allow them to float. These ancient texts also say that Vimanas had other features similar to modern aircraft, like stealth, wind ears, and thousand-mile eyes, which is the ability to detect enemies from a great distance. However, since this was translated by Indian scholars, many foreign academics disagree with their interpretation. This concerns me, though. I recently saw a video where a Japanese person from the future claimed that India might one day rule Asia. I didn't think much of it at the time, but if they've truly unlocked the secrets of the Vimanas, that's a very frightening thought. Ancient accounts of UFOs aren't just limited to India. The Mayans believed they were descendants of Angshu immigrants. Their sacred book, Popol Vuh, describes their ancestors as all-powerful and says their gods would inspect the spherical earth from a magnificent cloud serpent ship. This suggests that the Mayans already knew the Earth was round, probably because their gods, flying high above, told them. There's other evidence around the world supporting the idea that people saw the Earth from above in ancient times. The most famous is the Nazca lines in Peru. These patterns are etched into black limestone and are preserved by the dry climate. From simple shapes to intricate animals, you can only see them from high in the air. Until commercial flights began in the 1930s, no one but the locals even knew about these ancient panoramic drawings. According to local legends, these markings are linked to their god Viracocha. They say a group of bearded, white-skinned people came after a great disaster and brought civilization. This legend, along with the Nazca lines, makes many people wonder if Nazca was an ancient landing site for alien spacecraft. When you look at India's Vimanas, the Mayans' cloud serpent ship, and even Chinese immortals who fly on clouds, it all points to one thing. The gods in these myths might not be as divine as we think. Instead of just appearing out of thin air, they used some kind of device to fly. This makes me wonder, maybe our gods were actually just highly advanced aliens.